Hi, hello viewers. In this video, we are going to discuss about demography. My name is K. Priyadarshini, working as a lecturer in MMM College of Nursing, Chennai. Let's see the objectives of this video. At the end of the section, the viewers are able to define demography, explain the scope of demography, enlist the importance of demography, and enumerate the different stages of demography. Demography. The definition in dictionaries, they have given that the study of statistics such as birth, death, income, or the incidence of disease which illustrate the changing structure of human population, that we called as demography based on Oxford Dictionary. Okay, but Merriam Webster in that he says that the statistical study of human population, especially with reference to the size and density, distribution, and vital statistics. This we called as demography. On the whole, what is demography? Demography is study of human population. In Demopedia, they have given that demography is a scientific study of human population, not the study. It is the scientific study of human population, primarily with respect to the size of the population, the structure, and the development. It takes into the account the quantitative aspect of the general characteristic that we called as demography. Now we will see the definition, the actual definition of demography. The statistical and mathematical study of the size of the population, composition of the population, and the spatial distribution of human population, and the changes occurring over time to time in these aspects through the operation of the five process they are giving importance in the definition of demography, that are fertility, mortality, marriage, migration, and social mobility. What are all the five factors? Fertility, mortality, marriage, migration, and social mobility. This definition is given by Bogie. In this definition, they have clearly stated that it is a scientific and the mathematical study of human population. What are all the things they are taken into account? Size, composition, statistical distribution, and of the changes over time in the aspect of five things, that is fertility, mortality, marriage, migration, and social mobility. Scope of demography. The scope of demography also include the distribution of the population, qualitative aspect of the demographic data, not only quantitative, qualitative aspect of the demographic data, family planning, population related policies, growth of the population, demographic aspect of housing, and the demographic aspect of saving and investment. These are all the scopes of demography. Next, we are going to discuss about importance of demography. Why it is important? Why we have to study about the human population? It is important because it gives valuable information that can be used to make good decisions in the business and for the government and for doing social service among other places. It also helps the people to understand the characteristics of the human population and how it might change in the future. This is important to make the decisions, to make 5-year plans, to make policies related to health and people. It is very important to know about the people. What are all the uses of demography? Demographic tell us the average ages, income, family size, the population density, political affiliations and concerns. Many things it gives information. We can use them to identify, prioritize the issues, gather support, raise awareness among the general people, and even be able to prepare for the futures. What is the actual conditions, what is the educational level, what is the health related statistics, what are all the culture they are following, in what are all the ways we have to improve the quality of the people residing in particular area. These are all the uses of demography. Now we are going to see about an important thing, that is demographic cycle. Studying about the world population from 1650 suggests that demographic transition of the nation involves only 5 stages, and it is in a cyclic form. These stages constitute the demographic cycle. First, we will see the first stage, otherwise we call it as I stationary period. It is characterized by both I birth rate as well as I death rate. The birth also I as well as death also I. Therefore, the population remains stationary because the birth rate also I, the death rate also I. It is seen when the country is economically most weak. India was in that this first stage till 1920. Next one is second stage, that we called as yearly expanding stage. It begins with the declining of the death rate. Okay, but the birth rate still remains high. As a result, there is an increase of human population. The DR, that means death rate decline, is mainly due to the improvement in the food supply, health care and sanitation, but the birth rate remains high. So, there is a increase of population. At present, developing countries of Asia, Africa are in this yearly expanding stage. The birth rate have actually increased in some of these countries, probably because of improved healthcare provisions and shortening period of breastfeeding, and because of improved technology, all those things. Next, third stage, late expanding stage. In this stage, death rate declining further and birth rate now begins to fall. Okay, and however, as the birth rate still exceed the death rate, in this death rate declines, birth rate also now begins to fall, but still high than the death rate. There is an increase of population. The fall in the birth rate results mostly because of access to the contraceptives, women empowerment, etc. etc. India appears to be in this stage. In developing countries, example China, Singapore, birth rate too have declined fast. The fourth stage, low stationary stage. This is characterized by low birth rate as well as the low death rate. Consequently, the population remains stationary. An aging population is the future of the stage. So, example Japan, Sweden, Belgium, Denmark and Switzerland are in this stage. Most industrialized countries have undergone the demographic transition from high birth rate and high death rate to low birth rate and low death rate. So, zero population growth has already been recorded in Austria during 1980 to 85. The growth rate is low as 0.1 was recorded in UK, Denmark, Sweden, Belgium during 80 to 85. That countries and all comes under low stationary stage. Fifth stage, declining stage. In this stage, birth rate is now lower than the death rate. The death rate is low only, but the birth rate is lower than the death rate. Hence, the population begins to decline. Some East European countries, example Germany, Hungary, and some of the North European countries, example Sweden, Norway, are now in this stage, that is declining stage. This is the population cycle demographic transition model. The changes in the population growth rate and the effect of population can be shown in this demographic transition model, otherwise we called as population cycle. Okay, here in the x-axis they have mentioned the time and the various stages of the demography. In the y-axis, birth and deaths per thousand per year. Okay, the blue color line indicating the birth rate. In the first stage, that is I stationary stage, the birth rate is also I, as well as the death rate also I. Okay, in the second, the green color line representing the death rate and the orange color line is representing the population growth. The second stage is yearly expanding stage. In this, the birth rate remains same, but the death rate started declining. The third one is late expanding stage. In this, the death rate is almost same, but the birth rate starting declining. And the fourth, low stationary stage. In this, the birth rate as well as the death rate, both the things are low. Okay, next, declining of population, that we called as declining stage. Okay, these are all the 5 stages: early stationary, high stationary, early expanding, late expanding, low stationary, and declining. Again I am repeating: high stationary, early expanding, late expanding, low stationary, and declining. Okay, the same thing, demographic transition model. The transition model portrayed how the countries move from the high birth rate and death rate to low birth rate and death rate as it becomes increasingly industrialized and because of technological advancement, all those things. The stage 1, high stationary or high fluctuating, consists of high birth rate and death rate. At this stage, the population is stable and grows quite slowly because of the number of birth and death are almost equal. And second stage, yearly expanding. In this, there is a sharp decline in the death rate, causing the population to grow rapidly. And third one, late expanding. In this, the birth rate falls, which slows down the population growth. Fourth one, low fluctuating or low stationary. In this, both the birth rate and the death rate are low, resulting in falling and then stable population. Fifth stage is declining. It shows the little population change, although it is somewhat ambiguous. This is about the demographic transition model. Summary of all 5 stages. Stage 1, high fluctuating or high stationary. The birth rate and death rate is high. And stage 2, early expanding. There is a sharp decline in the death rate, causing the population to grow rapidly. Late expanding, the third stage sees the birth rate fall, which slows down the population growth. Stage 4, low fluctuating or low stationary. Both birth and death rate are low, resulting in stable population. Stage 5, declining. The fifth final stage shows little population change, although it is somewhat ambiguous. Till now we have discussed about what is demography, what is the meaning, what is the definition of demography, and what are all the scope and uses, what is the importance, why we are calculating, why we are doing scientific study, the purpose of doing studying about demography and the various stages of demographic cycle. I hope that you are all able to understand the content what we have discussed in this video. Thank you so much, viewers, for your patient listening. Thank you so much.